Ciao Fabri, we are back here in the podcast, and it's a new year for us, as we already said last time. We are here also on video for the first time, so happy to be here with you. And we're gonna discuss every time we are here together a different topic. And today the big topic is Arsenal, because Arsenal have an important summer ahead of us, and they just appointed the new sport director Andrea Berta. So what's new for Arsenal?
Yeah, it's an important moment for Arsenal. I think it's going to be a crucial summer. Now, obviously, there is still the final part of the season to play, and Arsenal have a big opportunity against Real Madrid. Of course, in Premier League, it looks like game over with Liverpool, but Arsenal have been competing in all the recent years. In Champions League, they will be fighting till the end. And then there is an important summer, because we know how complicated was the January market for Arsenal. The fans, and not only the fans, also the coach, Mikel Arteta, wanted a new striker, but they didn't find the right opportunity on the market. Now there is a new director, and it's Andrea Berta, who signed his contract this week to become the new Arsenal director. So everything is confirmed and completed. And he won a race against several directors, because there were many candidates for this job. For example, Jason Ito, who's already at Arsenal to stay at the club. There was Thiago Scuro, who is doing an excellent job at Monaco and was also an option for Arsenal. Roberto Labe at Real Sociedad. Arsenal and Real Sociedad always had a connection. They signed several players who were playing there, like Mikel Merino or also Odegaard, so they know the club very well, and Olabe was another candidate. So there were several candidates in the race, but Andrea Berta won this race and is going to be in charge of everything. So he will start immediately. He was already today at the press conference of Mikel Arteta. He's been in London for a lot of time in the last 3-4 months to improve his English, to get ready for Arsenal new chapter and for a big summer, because Arsenal will need to improve the squad, to do many things, and I expect Arsenal to be really busy.
What can Berta bring compared to the other directors you just mentioned? What do you think are his best skills, and what can Arsenal fans hope to see at Arsenal now?
Look, Berta is an excellent director. What he did at Atletico Madrid is fantastic. So remember that they started this fantastic chapter at Atleti with Diego Simeone a long time ago. So they were building the squad that now we see competing in La Liga every season. They won titles. They had 2 Champions League finals. They are always there competing. So working with a coach like Simeone is a privilege for sure for a director like Andrea Berta, but it's also not easy. And I think Mikel Arteta is on the same level. Fantastic coaches, but every day you have to be on point, every day you have to be supporting, every day you have to understand the moment when this kind of manager like Arteta, like Simeone, obviously they are different, but the mentality is really similar. They are obsessed with winning. Mikel Arteta wants to do this step with Arsenal. Winning trophies is too important for him. So I think Andrea Berta won this race because he can help in obviously bringing in quality players, also to decide the strategy for present, but also for long term, something that he did at Atletico Madrid, always investing for players, not just for the present, but also for the future. And this for Arsenal is absolutely important. The job made by Edu in the recent years has been fantastic. They get rid of many players who were not part of the process. Now imagine that in the squad, if I'm not mistaken, they only have 1 or 2 players who are over 30, and this is showing how the project is for present and future. Berta will go in this direction. And Berta knows how to work with an ambitious coach, obsessed with winning like Mikel Arteta. So this is why he won the race, and for sure he's going to be very busy in the next months.
Yeah, because in the past he worked with Diego Simeone, who is another manager who is obsessed as Arteta for sure. Talking about the striker, because that's probably the most important topic for Arsenal in the summer. What's the situation for the striker? Isaac is probably one of the names, but what's the situation regarding the top name for Arsenal?
Yeah, Arsenal will obviously bring in a striker. That's absolutely guaranteed and obvious. And Alexander Isak remains the dream target. The dream target already in January, already 1 year ago. Mikel Arteta considers Alexander Isak the perfect striker for his idea of football and for Arsenal. But then we have to respect Newcastle. What we mentioned in the last year here on the podcast is that Newcastle must be respected because they're doing very well. They just won a trophy. They want to bring important players in the summer. They want to build something important for the future. And so to keep Alexander Isak is absolutely crucial for Newcastle. So they keep insisting at the club that Isak is not available this summer. So my expectation is for Arsenal to try, and also for Liverpool to be in the race for Alexander Isak. So I see both clubs trying at least to make something happen. Then if Newcastle will say no chance even to big proposals, in that case Arsenal will look at different options. But Alexander Isak remains the dream target for Arsenal, the dream target for Arteta. Again, really complicated because Newcastle will fight till the end to keep the player and to make sure he can be part of this long-term project.
What about other names? Because of course he is one of the targets, but then there are other names that emerged over the last weeks, month. One of them is Gyökeres.
Yeah, for Viktor Gyökeres, the appreciation of the director, Andrea Berta, in this case, is absolutely confirmed. So Andrea Berta already had Viktor Gyökeres on his list when he was the director at Atletico Madrid. He's a player he really appreciates. Obviously, Gyökeres is a different player compared to all the others we see linked to Arsenal, also in terms of age, experience. What he's doing at Sporting has been fantastic. He already had an experience also in England at Coventry, so he's a player who knows English football, but obviously at Arsenal the pressure is completely different. Let me explain something on Gyökeres. Arsenal are obviously informed on the situation, in very good relationship with his agents, with a new director who knows the player well and appreciates the player, but also Arsenal are aware of the financial situation for Viktor Gyökeres. What does it mean? That he has a release clause? Yes, but the clause this summer is not going to be a topic. What I'm told is that the player has an agreement, the player and his agents have an agreement with Sporting for Viktor Gyökeres to leave the club this summer for an amount worth 65-70 million euros. Then it will be a package, so add-ons will be included. We have to see the structure of the deal. But let's say that for something around 65-70 million euros, Viktor Gyökeres could leave Sporting. And that's a big story because could be a bargain, could be a top striker available for good money, but not completely crazy money. For example, Alexander Isak will never be available for that money. So Arsenal are aware of these opportunities, and I think if Isak will not be available, for sure, Gyökeres will be part of the conversation internally at Arsenal.
Another name is Benjamin Sesko, who is a name that was around for many clubs in the last summer and also the winter before, and the summer before as well. So what's happening with him, and can he be an option for Arsenal in the summer?
He remains an option for sure in the list. He was one of the names also in the January transfer window. Arsenal were thinking to make an approach with Red Bull Leipzig, but then they understood with just a few calls that it was impossible in January to make something happen with Leipzig for Šeško. But in the summer could be completely different. My expectation is for Benjamin Šeško to go in the summer transfer window. So I see, for example, Gyökeres leaving, Šeško leaving. For Isak remains a 50-50 situation. So it's completely different case. But for Šeško, everything is clear. The player could leave in the summer. The player is ready for the next step. Leipzig are doing really poor this season, and despite the manager fired Marco Rose a few days ago, despite a complicated situation, Šeško is still scoring goals. Šeško is still the best player in the team together with Xavi Simons. So the interest is there from Arsenal, but also more clubs. Because, for example, we can add to the conversation also Chelsea, we can add to the conversation also Manchester United. Several clubs are following the situation of Šeško. So I think in the summer he's going to be one of the names, but for Arsenal, for sure, he's a player they like, he's a player they appreciate, and they already know the price because it's not going to be crazy money also in this case, and so could be another opportunity for sure, potentially available in the summer transfer window.
We're mentioning only basically for now center strikers on the number nines, but can Arsenal also sign more offensive players like wingers, for example, that probably they need as well?
Yeah, I expect Arsenal to do more, to be honest. I think, okay, we know Nwaneri is doing fantastic, but in general, I see, for example, Sterling going back to Chelsea. Sterling is not going to stay at Arsenal, and so he's going to be sold by Chelsea. But this is a completely different story. So he's not going to be part of the attacking department at Arsenal, and it means that they need at least one more winger. So I see Arsenal signing in the summer, signing a player in that position, a player they love, but it's the same for Chelsea, it's the same for Bayern, it's the same for Barca, is Nico Williams. Nico Williams is probably the biggest desire of several clubs around Europe at a winger position, for Arsenal too, but again, it depends on the player more than on the fee because he has a release clause included in his contract at Athletic Club. So for sure, they will bring in a winger. They have some dream target. They have some opportunity target, but I see Arsenal busy with the center striker and with the winger too.
We know when a new sport director arrives at the club, there is also the contract side, which is very, very important. So what's the priority in this sense for Berta? So what's the top priority in terms of contracts, new contracts for him?
Yeah, we will touch on several names, but I wanted to start with the top priority, which is absolutely Bukayo Saka. Bukayo Saka is out of contract in summer 27, so it's not something urgent. It's not a worrying situation for Arsenal, but in general, Arsenal want to give a new contract to Bukayo Saka, so some contacts have already started. Now, Bukayo and his agents will have the opportunity to meet with Andrea Berta to understand the strategy from the new director, and that's always something important. You can start the conversation already months ago, of course, but then you need to speak to the new director to understand the view, to understand the project, and this is what's going to happen with Bukayo Saka. So the conversations are going to continue. Arsenal are very relaxed because they see Bukayo very happy at the club. He's fully focused on Arsenal now back, and he will be available to face Real Madrid in Champions League. So that's a fantastic boost, a fantastic news for Arsenal. But the conversations are going to continue for new contract. So again, under contract till 27, but they expect Arsenal to accelerate on new deal talks with Bukayo Saka.
Arsenal fans are also worried about some outgoings and some rumors that emerged over the last weeks. One is Saliba and Real Madrid that we know they are likely going for a centre back this summer. So what's the situation?
Yeah, there are many stories on this one. What I can say is two completely different topics. One is internal at Real Madrid, because Real Madrid appreciate William Saliba, but to me this is not a news. Who is not appreciating Saliba? He's probably one of the best, if not the best centre-back in the world. He's a fantastic player, fantastic guy, super professional. So you can only love a player like Saliba. What he's doing at Arsenal is together with Gabriel, because they play together at top level, but is really unbelievable. So the appreciation from Real Madrid is not surprising. But Real Madrid also know that Arsenal are not going to entertain any conversation this summer. So I don't think we will spend a lot of time here on our podcast on Many Blazers in the summer speaking about Saliba. Then in the next years, I don't know, because in the next years we have to see how the conversation of a new contract will go, and Real Madrid will be attentive to the situation. So let's say that Real Madrid will keep close eye to the contract talks between Saliba and Arsenal. But at the moment, the other topic on Saliba is his commitment to Arsenal. Saliba has gone public a few weeks ago saying that he wants to stay, he wants to continue, he's very happy at Arsenal, he wants to win titles. Mikel Arteta considers Saliba as a crucial player for their project, so full focus on going on together. Now we will see with Andrea Berta how the contract talks will go, but for sure Saliba is not planning to leave Arsenal today. So full focus on Arsenal project, and Real Madrid appreciation, I think, is part of the game.
What about another player in that part of the roster for Arsenal? I'm talking about Gabriel Magalhaes. So what's the situation about his future?
Yeah, another excellent player, and as you mentioned, when you have this kind of names, it's normal to have clubs interested. So I can confirm that already 1 year ago, and again now from Saudi, they have strong interest in Gabriel Magalhaes. He's a player really appreciated there. They would love to bring big money on the table for the player and Arsenal. So let's see what happens there. But it's another contract topic for Arsenal. They have to decide what they want to do, whether they want to extend this contract or maybe make some big money. At the moment, my feeling is that Arsenal are super happy with Gabriel and super happy with this fantastic pair they have with Gabriel and Saliba. So at the moment, I'm not aware of any concrete movement for his exit. But for sure, from Saudi, they're waiting. In case they get a green light from player or Arsenal, they would be ready to start a conversation for Gabriel. So let's see what happens also there. But this is going to be another contract conversation to start for the new director, Berta.
Talking about contracts, there is also Jorginho and Thomas Partey out of contract soon. So what's the latest on them?
Yeah, that's going to be one of the most interesting situations to follow in the next weeks and months, because for Jorginho there is an important proposal on the table from Flamengo. Flamengo want to bring Jorginho back to Brazil, so they would like to get this deal done as soon as possible. They already tried in January, was not possible because Arsenal and Arteta said no to this possibility, but Flamengo keep insisting. So I think there is a chance for Jorginho to go, because from Brazil they're pushing, and it's a concrete possibility. For Thomas Partey, at the moment, I'm not aware of anything concrete in terms of new contract talks. So again, now there is a new director, which is Andrea Berta. We will see what he decides to do. But as of today, end of March, beginning of April, I'm not aware of concrete contract talks for Thomas Partey to stay at Arsenal. So I would not be surprised if Arsenal decide to change something in the midfield. And then when we mention Arsenal and when we mention midfielders, we should remind that the top target for Arsenal is Martin Zubimendi, a conversation that they already started a few months ago. We said this connection between Arsenal and Real Sociedad. One more player to mention is for sure Martin Zubimendi. Arsenal are already in direct contact with the player side. Real Sociedad are aware of this contact between Arsenal and the players' camp. And so Zubimendi remains one of the top priorities for Arsenal, confident to bring the player to the club in the summer.
Last one for today, we also mentioned about the young players from the academies. So if you have some names that you want to talk about here.
Yeah, because we know how important it is to keep these players, and we have to mention two names from Arsenal Academy. What they've been doing is unbelievable, and the one is obviously Lewis Kelly, who also scored for the English national team, and then Ethan Nwaneri, who scored for the under-21 and will be part of Arsenal project for a long time. Arsenal have already started conversations in this case to extend the contracts of both players. They don't expect or anticipate any sort of problem. It was Man City 2 years ago trying to sign Ethan Nwaneri. That was a concrete possibility, but it's a story from 2 years ago. Now the player is doing fantastic at Arsenal. He's part of the first team on regular basis, scoring goals, providing assists, a top talent. So same obviously for Lewis Kelly. Arsenal have already started conversations to extend their contracts, and I think there will be no issue, no problem. So we mentioned the present, but the future of Arsenal is for sure with these two players, and talks over new deal are going very well. So I expect both to stay and commit to new contracts.
Okay, Fabrizio, thank you for today. This is it for Arsenal. I mean, for now, because definitely we will be back talking about the Gunners in the next couple of weeks. We will be also back here, Men in Blazers, talking about other topics in the next days. So stay tuned and see you soon.
See you soon. Ciao, guys.